girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. With their nails done. Girls with their nails done. With their nails done.
What is up, everyone? We are now back into day number 2 for Ooredoo Nation Gamers Land Inter Resort Esports Championship 2025. We are shotcasters for tonight. I'm Moik, and with me is Annie.
And yes, it's great to be back, especially after a really good first day yesterday. And now we're gonna be moving on to the battle for third as well as the finals. So it looks like we're gonna be doing the battle of third first, with Joali being team number one going against a Fushifaru. So yesterday we saw how these two teams played about, and of course they've lost their particular semifinals, but they still have a chance to get to show what they're made of, and then they're gonna be fighting for third place. So this is gonna be pretty fun.
And yeah, I mean, for now, definitely we are be heading on to the first round of bans. We have the Alpha also waiting for the ban ready for Fushifaru, which these teams have played the last night, but they're gonna have a chance, of course, to win a game, to win a match. And yep, they're gonna be they're gonna be banning that Kalia.
Yeah, Talia and Alpha so far are the two heroes that are going to be taken out of the table. And once again, we saw from yesterday that the tournament isn't anything too serious. We're not taking a look at pro scenes, pro players, or anything like that. These guys are just casual players, so we're gonna expect like casual picks. You know, the typical tank, support, and then with the mid laners, the EXP, the carries. Nothing too fancy, and yeah, definitely nothing too fancy in terms of pickings and bannings, and even in the rotations later on in the game. And right now, we're seeing that with the bans. I guess these are typical bans as well. I mean, the Suyu is pretty meta. That goes the same with Kalia as well. And we saw yesterday the Franco is quite annoying, so they want to take that off of the table.
And yep, definitely they're gonna be taking out Tatsuya. They've seen the games that happened last night. They don't want to repeat that one again. So yep, also ending that ban would be Lucas. On the other hand, we also have the Franco being banned as two. Really, I mean, having Franco on your team is a different type of play style that you are gonna expect. So they're gonna minimize their chances on that, and they're just gonna be heading on to ban as well. Uh, Joy, which is also a very meta assassin, if you will. But yeah, we would be locking up our first pick right here for Joali being one, which is gonna be a Hayabusa.
And yesterday, there were a lot of bans mostly focused upon the assassins. And it's a good thing now that we're seeing a little bit more of um, different bans. We're seeing the Franco ban, the Alpha ban. These are EXP laners, tanks, supports finally getting banned. Unlike yesterday, I don't know why they really like taking out the assassins off of the table. But right now, we're going to be seeing, our first phase of the picking. Of course, Hayabusa just a while ago. And finally, Fushifaru will be locking in that CC and the Zas as well that we saw yesterday. We actually saw the CC and the Zas in action. And so let's see how this will work out against Joali being team one.
Yeah, definitely. We're actually seeing a chip, and yeah, pairing that with. We're still gonna be waiting, but nevertheless, we have the CC and the Zask, which CC is usually some of those good picks, especially as a fighter, and the Zask as well, which can really dish out a lot of damage. So it could work for them. I mean, we don't really get the full picture just yet, but Chip and Uranus Block, which personally I don't really see a lot of Uranus champs, Uranus players, but maybe they can pull this one off right here. Also with the Hayabusa, the Uranus providing that durability also could work, and the Chip with the support that the team needs. I think we're gonna be. I'm just gonna predict maybe for their gold laner. I think it's gonna be either a Brody or a Granger or an Aerith. A Moskov could work though. I don't know, but it could. But yeah, I mean for now, we're seeing the last pick for Fushifaru, their third pick, which is gonna be probably a Moskov. And yeah, it is gonna be a Moskov. So the damage is already there, a little bit of durability from the CC, the lifesteal. And yeah, we're gonna be I think expecting the tanks who could be supporting them later. Maybe a Matilda. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of possibilities, but right now we're seeing in the first phase of the picking, I believe if this Uranus will be going to the EXP lane, which is what's gonna be most likely gonna happen. They'll be going up against the CC, which is fine, I guess. As long as these are the comfort picks of the particular players that pick them. And then of course, not much of the matchups yet. On the side of Fushifaru, they don't have a support yet, and they don't have a mage. I mean, never mind. There is a mage. There's no jungler, rather. There's no jungler and no roamer as well. So the side of Joali being team one, they do have the support. I believe if the chip is gonna be the support. And then there's the Uranus in the XP lane, and of course the jungler. So they'll need their carries and their mage as well. So taking a look at the bans, of course, the Angela will be taken out of the picture, and that goes as well with the Brody. So Fushifaru, they can go ahead and choose either a mid laner or a carry to ban out. And if they watched the stream yesterday, maybe they'll have a good idea of what are the comfort picks of Joali being one, and then take the bans from there. But of course they can take out some of the more meta bans. Okay, Vexana, yeah, we've seen a couple of Vexanas in the previous day, so that's to be understandable.
I think the girls with their nails done.
Yeah, Vexana. I mean, it really could have worked for Joali being one if they got the Vexana, especially that the damage Vexana gives out is immense while being at a safer distance. Also, considering their Hayabusa, it really could work on their favor, if you will, because Hayabusa can really dish out the damage in close combat and then move out. Vexana could go in for the rescue. Chip could go in, especially engaging those fights. Uranus providing the durability. So yeah, it could have worked. And did I mention Brody a while? I think I did. Oh no, I didn't mention Brody, I guess. But he was. I also thought of him as one of those possible picks right here for Joali being one. Anyways, checking on their bans as well. We have the Hanzo and the Angela, which we've seen the Angela. Some Angela play. I think someone played Angela yesterday. I think it was Fushifaru. I'm not sure, but definitely for Angela being banned as well, still could have worked. But I do think if Aramis or Mathilda, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, Hanzo would also be picked off, and just gonna be waiting on that one. Oh, Belleric. Okay.
Yeah, for Fushifaru, they finally chosen a sustain for their team, and that will be the Belleric, which pretty much brings the lineup together. Now they just need a jungle for themselves, and so with Joali being one, I love the picks. I mean, these are the troll picks back in the day, but right now, I mean, I'm all for respect to the Layla, especially in the hands of a really good marksman. Of course, Claude, I love his kit. I love the mobility. And yesterday, I saw a Claude being used, and it actually worked out really well. Especially, I forgot which team used the Claude, but they had a really good lineup. There was a setter tank, and everyone else kind of just went into a really good position, and they managed to wipe out that team fight into their favor. But right now, I'm not really that confident, since I don't think there's a setter on their team, except maybe the Nana. I guess if you stun the other team with like their ultimate, I suppose the Claude can work. But this is gonna be all about the execution, and with that, we finally see the full lineup. Pretty well rounded as usual, but nothing too exciting, nothing too fancy. So with that, our first game, Battle for Third, will be between Joali being Team 1 and Fushifaru. We've seen them perform yesterday, and now we're gonna be seeing them go against each other for the Battle for the Third.
Yeah, we're gonna be excited on that one. And yeah, Fushifaru versus Joali being one. We're gonna be heading on to the Land of Dawn later, but you know what? The picks are really something which you have seen since day one. So right here, I do have high hopes for the Zask, unless he's just gonna get ganked a lot of times, which I think will not happen. But looking at these picks once again, it really again could work in their favor. But yeah, we're now here in the land of Dawn.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty exciting, especially since there's something different about the rotations right now. There's the leashing, which usually we see in another game, but yeah, the junglers definitely have the help of the rest of your team. I think there's a potential invasion towards the side of Fushifaru's jungle. Let's see if something will happen because there's two, three people from Joali being one, and all caught in the wrong bush.
Oh, yep, there we have it. Just a little bit. I mean, still quite early. We can't really just see a lot of these engagements. What they do want to prioritize, though, are the objectives. Oh, the steal! The steal that I mean, that was kind of unexpected for I think it was really just unexpected for them. So for Moscow, well, but I think we're gonna be seeing an engagement right here.
Oh,
The crowd control and the damage following up one by one. It will not be enough to take one though, and Beleric will be on the move to rescue his teammate.
and it was still fine because Luban was very low on health. So even though Claude, Asi didn't manage to get that kill, they disrupted the farm of Luban. So that's still a win for me in the books. But I think there's something that's potentially gonna happen in the goal lane.
Yep, the damage coming in and the first blood already going to Raptor Lynx, chasing them down a little bit more. He's just gonna be chasing
Oh,
them. The
come
region
on.
keeps himself alive, but it will not be enough as he gets the double kill. Zask taken down, and that's just gonna be another advantage right here, especially that they could push this one out for the turtle. Surprisingly, however, they're gonna be pushing into this purple buff, which I
Oh.
think afterwards they're just gonna be teleporting to the turtle. The knockups following up, which they already got the turtle, so I mean the buff rather. So yeah, we're kind of good to go right here.
Yeah, and I love how Jolie being one pretty much has the advantage in the early game. But then once again, it's still quite early on in the game. We're still talking 2 minutes, but it doesn't look very good for this Japanese person. I forgot which this is Julian will be taken down by Super Six, and yeah, once again Jolie being one, doing quite well. Yonko, I don't know if you should be there.
Yup, going in for the charge as well, trying to fight back with the damage that he can. But I think that will not be enough just yet. They're really just extending right here, trying to take their buffs away from them, which is really risky, especially when you're gonna be taken out. So I mean, what you did a while ago, it is really risky. Now you're left with low HP, and you have the turtle, which could really be taken to the side of Fushifaru.
Yep, and it looks like there might be a potential contest here. The question is, who will take it? It will be stolen by Fushifaru.
Definitely, and I think they're hungry for more, but they cannot really just get with the damage that they have for now. But you know what? I really kind of predicted it a while ago already, since they were Joel being one went and overextended trying to take the orange buff, which was a mistake. And when they moved back, they were already moving back with low HP remaining, and they also engaged onto the turtle, which just made Fushifaru a little bit easier to get the turtle.
And yeah, I think everyone's going back to their places. I thought there was gonna be something in the gold lane, but I think it's just a three versus three potential team fight hovering about. But for these teams, I think it's quite too early to take this team fight to take this engagement. So the best thing to do is kind of back out a bit. I mean, the pokes are fine and the rotations are fine. It's just that I don't think this is a good time for any engagement right now. And look at the backup coming in from Jolie being one once they found out Nana was getting bullied.
Yep, Super 6 gets one, takes Julian down, and also Zaz could have been gotten as well, but the two trying to engage, trying to fight back. Low HP remaining, it will not be enough. CC goes in for the power up as well, but the damage is too much, and Raptor Lynx would deal the final blow, the killing blow, and also Uranus really giving them cover. A huge props to them.
And still Jolie being one taking the scoreboard for themselves. This is 5-1. But surprisingly, even though there's a huge gap in the scoreboard, the gold lead isn't that great. I mean, that's probably like 7K difference. And we're taking a look at the items as well. Everyone's kind of building them up. There's a lot of boots to come about. And the Moskov finally has a life steal, has the has clause. So I'm really excited to see how this will play out, especially with all that sustained. But over here in the gold lane, there's another turtle coming up, and there are several players on each side. This is gonna be potentially a 4 versus 4. Chip uses their ultimate. Uh-oh.
Trying to chase him down, but I think it will not be enough just yet. But look at the bot side! Aster will find a kill on Luban, giving them a chance to fight back as well. The Zask ultimate pops out, but while that was happening, Raptor Lynx was chasing Yonko down, and he gets taken out. Zask could be the next victim right here, but they're all kind of spread out, so they don't really know which ones to target. Belleric ultimate follows up as well. Julian taking Super 6 down, and they're chasing them once again. Low on health, Hayabusa could be eliminated, but Gomic would
Oh,
take the Belleric down a little bit more. And Zas, actually, no. Actually, oh, okay, not yet, not yet. That's fine. They do have the control towards the turtle though, but what did you do? What? Raptor, what? I have no words.
I'm not sure what happened actually. I guess that was like a martyr kind of death, you know? They got that kill, but at what cost? Hey, what just happened? I guess something happened in the gold lane and Lupin was taken down by that was Doa Ibu. And we're taking a look at the scoreboard right now. This is 93, still Jolie being one, having the slight advantage to their side, and they're gonna make that gold lead a little bit bigger once they take this turtle for themselves. But Halum is looming around the corner, but it's not gonna be a good idea to try to contest that, especially when they're all alone. Potentially something might happen in the jungle in Fushifaru, but it's not gonna be a good idea, especially for Fushifaru to kind of get this engagement top lane.
Ooh, going onto the top lane, Raptor Lynx will find one. Trying to get another few more, and he gets Evo. Finally gets a kill on the Belleric as well. They could push this one out, just waiting for those minions, and they could get the first tower right here from the side of Fushifaru. And Joali could really just expand from here on out. But yeah, that would just be it for now.
Yeah, I think the chip is really setting the tone for this game, especially since these ganks are going really well. Super Six finds a victim, and speaking of victim, oh my gosh, another ultimate.
Yes, another ultimate. The damage coming up as well. The crowd control, everything is here. Ase will find a kill on the Julian. Could be chasing them down
Ooh,
as well, but the Yonko will take people down. Chasing them once again. Low on health. Going in for the knock of the CC. Would it be enough?
what?
It will not be. Yonko makes a comeback and takes him down. On the other hand, looking at this, and a few more, and Mahil will take the kill. Ase, on the other hand, would claim another one, replying and trying to even things out. But that would be it. Still a one, making this into a 1v2 scenario.
Oh my gosh, a 3 to 4 trade on favor of, I believe it was Fushifaru. Still, I mean, it was pretty good fight. It was quite interesting, and I really, really loved the sustain coming in from Yonko from that CC. I mean, they were so low on health, but they still managed to keep themselves alive until they got picked off towards the end, and I mean, that was to be understandable. But I think yeah, we're back to the same places. We're back to the same part of the jungle. Basically everyone's back to their places. We're down to 9 minutes into the game. The Lord is gonna be coming up 2 versus 1, but there's a lot of sustain in the top lane. I don't think Gomic's gonna go down. I mean, that's a Uranus we're talking about. But over there at the gold lane, I mean, I think Jolie being one wants this Lord, and they're gonna try to fight again. Wow, Luban just got taken down in a few seconds. I don't know if they'll be taking the other player down as well.
Following that up, the Hayabusa ultimate will not be enough to take one down. They're just still gonna be chasing them as well, trying to fight back. But the damage for the COD ultimate will not be enough, however, as the Belleric also reflected that damage back to him, and now he gets just taken out. However, the Lord is up for grabs, and I think Joali being one could try this one. Oh, I think they're not gonna commit.
I have to keep reminding myself the Japanese writings. I'm gonna call them Julian from now on because I can't read Japanese. But yeah, I'm gonna remind myself. But top lane, I don't know if something's gonna happen. But there's Cece, there's Julian over there, and Gomez comes in and tries to get that kill. There's gonna be a sandwich though.
Yes, following that up as well, Raptor Lynx finds one. Could be chasing one down as well. But yeah, run while you can, run Forest,
Uh
run
oh.
as he tries to take him down. But in unexpected, it was just unfortunate. He was gonna be taken out as they were just chasing him down. It was just really a sad fate for Young.
Yeah, there were three people down on the side of Fushifaru. Jolie being one could have had this time to get the Lord, but I think they'll be taking this team fight supposedly in the mid lane, but Fushifaru knows better. They're gonna back down, and so with that, Jolie being one will be attempting the Madara. I think this will be uncontested unless the Moscow will use their ultimate, but I don't think there's a chance for that. Raptor Link takes the Madara and Jolie being one, they're gonna have the advantage to their side. I mean, the minions are pushing towards the side of Fushifaru. Fushifaru is getting pushed into a corner. They have a goal deficit, and definitely that's 2-to-1 ratio on the scoreboard. So it's not looking good for them, but they can still hold on, hug their base, try their best not to get picked off like Yonko is about to be picked off. But it's a good thing it was just Super 6. But yeah, all they have to do is defend, try their best to push back all the minions, and try to farm and catch up to Jolie being one.
Yep, and definitely this trying to dish out a lot of the damages they can slowly but surely. But going into actually, I was surprised he went in and dove, but he was just really facing an easy death right there, and they're gonna be pushing and taking this mid turret right here. I think they're gonna go for a gank as well, but it will not be enough just yet.
Wow.
And yeah, what was happening? They're gonna be pushing towards the top side of the map. I think we're gonna be seeing two towers that's gonna be taken down from the side of Fushifaru, which could really set them up for an easy win for game number one. And yeah, I think right here, still, you're left with two hosts. I mean, you're also kind of facing the third hole right here, but the minions still managed to hold it one out a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's not over until the fat lady sings and Fushifaru's still alive. And they are defending their base. There's a new wave of minions, and I think they might have a chance to defend this. I mean, they're doing quite well as long as none of their players get picked off. But on the other hand, Jolie being one is also doing quite well. They'll have to push back the minions, however, and Fushifaru had a really good defense against that last wave. I really thought Jolie being one had this in the bag, but Fushifaru is not giving up that easily. I mean, this is a 5-man team right now. They're kind of just not going out of their base, which is a good idea, especially since the map is really volatile and then it's not in the favor of Fushifaru. So for now, it looks like they're really just focusing on the defense. They're not taking any engagements, any team fights needlessly. And slowly but surely, Jolie being one is pushing the minions back. They're pushing it against Fushifaru, giving it a lot of pressure. And of course, we're just watching, waiting for one of these teams to make a move, to get a pick off, to tip the scales, and then from that one mistake, there might be like a snowball effect, and then eventually we might be seeing perhaps either Jolie being one finally destroying the base of Fushifaru, or on the other hand, it's also still possible Fushifaru could wipe out Jolie being one in one good team fight, and then they could potentially push turn the tides around.
Yep, they're gonna be probably turning this one around right here, but the Lord will be taken once again for Joali being one. So right here, if the Lord pushes this one out, and really this is gonna be their chance to win game number one with ease. Because if they can't, then Fushifaru would get another opportunity to throw it back and turn everything around. Though it is kind of a little bit far, But yep, they're still going to be taking a lot of these objectives as well from the side of Fushifaru to minimize the gold that Fushifaru can get, and really to just rely on the minions that Jolie being one will be pushing. And I think that's just going to be their source of income from now. But yeah, we're gonna be waiting on some engagements.
Yeah, and mostly on the side of Jolie being one, most of their team is on level 15 and 14 as well. But surely, surely, Fushifaru will be trying to catch up. There's a lot of damage being done, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. We might be seeing the end of this game.
Yes, we could actually see one end, but Ibu will take Luban down, also trying to look for a few more kills. Yonko saying goodbye as well. The three of them already heading onto their base to heal up, but it will not be enough as the crystal for game number one will be taken to the side of Joali being one.
Oh, I really thought Jolie being one would try to get a wipeout before ending the game, but yeah, the first game for this best of three will be going on to Jolie being one. Once again, this is the battle for the third, and this is between Jolie being one and Fushifaru. With that, we'll be moving on to game number two. But before that happens, we will be taking a short break. So thank you for so much for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you in a few minutes.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done.
Yes, we are back to the battle for the third. This is between Fushifaru and Jolie being one. And we saw just a while ago, our first game does go on to the side of Jolie being one. And so, with them at the match point, it's either of the two things. Jolie being one will win this game, and they will be taking that third place. Or Fushifaru will win this game, push this into the third game, and then we'll see from there. And once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and Mike's with me. Mike, what did you think about that previous game?
Thank you so much, Annie. And yes, we are going to be heading on to game number two. Definitely, Uranus. I gave a comment that Uranus wasn't really that thick during in some games that I experienced, but really the Uranus also providing a lot of the defense. Though the defense is more onto that a little area though. So I mean, it's kind of like that, but it really works out. Really worked out for the team. Hayabusa being able to dish out a lot of that damage and then move back safely. They also have I forgot the mage. I think that was then I forgot. Okay, but
Nana
never mind.
or Zask?
Yeah, I know Zask as well from the enemy. That was from Fushifaru, but definitely the damage from the mage as well was also helping. And again, add that with the gold laner, so it really really helped them get their first win for for match number one. And you're gonna be heading on to game number two. If they're not gonna be aware of their picks, then they could really Fushifaru could really face a huge disadvantage.
Yep, and just from the previous game, Jolie being one was pretty consistent with their playstyle. All the while, I think they had the advantage on their side for the entire time. I mean, the scoreboard was on their side. The gold lead was also on their side the entire time. I don't think the tables have really turned against Fushifaru. I mean, I mean, talking about Jolie being once base, they had most of their turrets still up towards the end. So, if they stay consistent in this second game, they might be confident enough to bag this third place placement. And but still, Fushifaru could be learning a bit from that previous game, and perhaps they're gonna switch up their picking and banning phase as well. So that's something we're gonna be finding out later, and it looks like we're gonna be seeing a Karina for this game.
Karina. Okay. I mean, if they're gonna be picking out squishy target as squishy heroes, then Karina could really shine in this game. But Soyo was up for grabs. So with that being said, this could also lead to Joel being one taking their win. But you know what, Fushifaru, maybe their comfort picks are Karina, so definitely it really could help them as well.
Yeah. Meta aside, I mean, I totally agree. It's all about the execution, all about how comfortable the player is with that pick. I mean, if you pick Suyu, but you only had like 2-3 games with him, against a Karina player that's played since like season 5 or something, then there's definitely a really big difference. But yeah, we're taking a look at the picks so far. I mean, I love it. There's a Cho, so that's a pick off, especially if you're looking for squishy targets. You're trying to break that the front lines and trying to get the carry from the back, the mage and the marksman as well. But on the other hand, Fushifaru will be taking this Katsukashi as well as the Vexana. So hopefully, crossing fingers, this could change their fate.
Yeah, it could really change them. But you know what? Speaking of the picks right here for Fushifaru, we have the Katsukachi, we have the Karina, we also have the Vexana. So I mean, the Karina can easily be countered right here with a lot of those CC, but they're gonna be picking a zero. High loss could work. Okay, so the Chu, however, could actually get the Karina off the map, and the Suyu could dish out the damage towards the gold laner of Fushifaru and maybe Vexan as well. The high loss also provides a lot of support for the team.
I love the picks of Jolie being one so far, and so they'll definitely need a carry and the mage as well, and I think that's a good thing as well. You know, keeping the mage and the carry for the second part of the picking. I believe they did this strategy as well in the previous game. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but keeping your cards hidden, especially with the damage dealers, is pretty good idea. But on the other hand, Fushifaru, they only revealed their mage, and so they still need their EXP laner as well as their carry, and so for both of these teams, they can go ahead and ban their marksman or perhaps Harith as well. And see, we're seeing Brody already being taken off the table by the hands of Jolie being one.
And yeah, we're gonna be waiting for these next few bans. Fushifaru could be facing. Okay, what? Go on,
Used
continue.
Eudora. I think someone used Eudora yesterday. I think that's why. But I can't remember which team. I mean, if they're scared of the Eudora, perhaps it's because they're gonna be choosing someone squishy. I don't really know what their line of thought is, but yeah, I mean, Eudora is a pretty good damage dealer. I'll give them that.
But yeah, but you know, if you got the crowd control, you could really just erase Eudora. The Eudora has no mobility. Eudora has no movement skills. Only Flicker could actually save her. But with this, these bans you could actually head on to ban Azushin, because the Azushin damage is really immense. And right here, CC being banned, which is usually a pretty safe ban, but for the side of Fushifaru, they're gonna be banning the Claude, which is a good ban because that's what Asia has always been using since day number 1. So the Chang'e locked in as well. So Suyo being the assassin, Hylos being that support, Cho the fighter, Chang'e with the the damage. All right, could work. The Fovius and the Gatot Kacha. Hmm. I'm thinking. I really think though that Vexana could shine in this game. Karina could be having a difficult game right here if he's gonna get caught by the Cho. What else? The Fovius. If Suyu can deal with the gold laner of Fushifaru as soon as possible, then he can help onto the team fights. And Changi, Clint. Okay, Clint being okay, carry, which is really honestly a good pick right here. But for carry, he has to really be able to proc the passive as much as he can. And yeah, oh, the Granger was open. Yeah, I didn't know. Kind of forgot. She could have. They could have used an Aerithel to anticipate the Granger pick, or they could have used the Granger for themselves. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, the carry can go really well against the tankiness of Jolie being one, but they only have to really worry about the Cho and the Hylos. But I love the Chang'e because that's a mid laner that's pretty good at pushing lanes, and I'm not sure why that is, but Chang'e is definitely really good at taking those objectives. And in the end, Asi will be taking that Ranger for themselves, and I mean that's a pretty good choice because we've been seeing the past games with Granger. I mean, it went really well. There's a lot of damage to come in the come with the Granger with the skills as well. But I think the execution, especially with how it complements their team, I think it was a bit lacking in that, the harmony it goes with the rest of the lineup. But yeah, we're gonna be finding if that chemistry, if that lineup is gonna work out really soon. So with that, we're gonna be moving on to the second game of this battle for the third. This is Fushifaru versus Joali being team number one, fighting for third place. And this is the second game. This is the match point for Joali being team 1. And so with that, once again, if Joali being 1 wins this game, they will be taking third place. However, if Fushifaru wins, we'll be seeing a game number 3. So with that, it's quite exciting. There's a lot of pressure, especially with Fushifaru. If they want the chance of winning this, they have to win this game. But on the other hand, Jolie being 1, they have a lot of room to kind of make mistakes. So with that, let's see what's gonna happen.
And yeah, well, that being said, we're gonna be here to the land of dawn. Still, the rest of the teams are back to their normal ML routine. Just getting those objectives, getting those buffs. The real action would happen later on during the turtle.
Yep, and there's something funny happening, especially with Jolie being 1. They're all congregating in the mid lane, hiding in the bush. But unfortunately, there's no one's gonna be there, and it's a good thing Halum was not in that area, because that would have been a pick off. But there was a bunch of pokes happening in the top lane, and over here in the bottom lane, there is an invasion.
Yep, trying to invade an
Whoa.
objective right here, but oh, Mahil already getting that first blood. The carry following up as well. If actually, you know what, for Fushifaru, which I'm not trying to negate what happened, but Karina is usually strong during early game. If they can keep up that pace to the mid game, then they really can snowball huge, and they could really have that win for Fushifaru. But right here, they're gonna be fighting back. Joali being 1, Gomic finding 1. That's gonna be carried down. Karina trying to fight as well, but also trying to inflict a lot of that damage. Ase, however, would claim the Gato catch it down, and yeah, they're gonna be left with no choice but to just move back.
Yep, that was the revenge kill coming in from Jolie being 1, and they managed to equalize the scoreboard. I mean, in the first engagement where Fushifaru got 2 kills, it was Jolie being 1 being punished for invading their jungle and potentially being outnumbered. But on the other hand, Jolie being 1 took those kills fair and square. But over here in the turtle, I think Fushifaru will be attempting to contest, but unfortunately Jolie being 1 does get that turtle. I think there's something happening in the river.
Glorious Pathway being activated also doesn't really step on it, but You know what? Ibu would find a kill down. Mahil would be taken out of the equation as well. A double kill from Changi. Also finding
No.
Royan down, and that's gonna be another advantage for Joali being one.
That is a 4-1 trade. There were four people down on the side of Fushifaru, all the while Jolie being one only lost. I believe that was Doa that got lost that fight. And the wrong place at the wrong time. What is Carrie doing over there, cutting the lanes? He got punished immediately with four members of Jolie being one. And with that, we're gonna be taking a look at what's gonna happen next in the game. I mean, there's mistake after mistake happening, especially on the side of Fushifaru. And Jolie being one, we're seeing a gold lead already 3 minutes in the game, and that's 4-7 on the scoreboard. So with that, Gomek attempts to take down Halom, but Halom does fight back.
Trying to actually fight back later on, especially that the turtle will be spawning in just a few seconds. But yeah, I think they're gonna be forcing a fight right here, especially the three of Joel being one are looking forward to push the bot side. However, looking at the top part of the map, Hylos is facing an enemy down from Fushifaru to the Soyu as well. But yeah, I think the damage from Phobius is also slowly increasing. The Glorious Pathway be activated. I mean, Hylos doesn't really have that a lot of the damage, but he's trying to sustain the fight
Whoa.
a little bit longer, so that Yonko on the other hand still managed to get the kill. And you know what? He was too late, as Gomek would find another kill and marking it another advantage for Joel being one, and they're just trying to widen the gap even more.
I think what happened back there is that Super 6 was kind of stalling for time, knowing that Gomek was coming to the rescue and getting that kill. But in the end, it became a 1-1 trade, which is, I mean, it's not a good thing and not a bad thing, but still, it was kind of like, I mean, a deficit on both sides. But still, it happened, and now we're gonna be taking a look at this next turtle. It looks like Jolie being one does have the map advantage for this, and they took that turtle. Unfortunately, uncontested by Fushifaru because they just didn't have the time, but everyone's rotating to the goal lane. Let's see what happens.
Trying to fight back as well. Glorious Pathway activated. The ultimate from
Ooh.
Mixana. Oh, coming out. Battle Catcher coming into the fray. Gomek finding one. That's going to be a killing spree. On the other hand, however, Asi would find another kill. That's going to be Royan. Still, they're not done. They're chasing them down. One more hit, and he goes bye-bye. Super 6 claim a kill on Mahil. Now, with nowhere left to run, they go in for the dive. It's gonna be a shutdown though. That was a really risky move. Mega kill on the other hand from Ibu. And yep, Phobius is back into the fight, and they have just stolen the orange buff, and they're just gonna move back.
I mean, that was absolutely crazy, especially with the side of Jolie being one. I think they just lost one player on the other hand. Fushifaru was pushed back so far, and they lost so many players in that engagement. But it's still 5 minutes in the game. Everyone respawned really, really fast, and now we're bouncing back really into the game really quickly. And so with that, 50 seconds before the next turtle pops up, and everyone's just trying to actually they're not going back to their lanes, they're kind of hovering about. You can see the gold laner of Fushifaru being pushed in the middle because they're gonna get picked off by that Cho.
The Cho going in for that ultimate, but nothing will be happening. Ibo, however, would find a kill onto our carry with, left them with a very huge hole right there. But yup, we could be looking at here as Asi would also be able to push the first turret of Fushifaru. And yep, Turtle is up for grabs in just a few seconds, and it does look like Jolie being one are slowly expanding their map control to gain a huge and easy a win onto the Turtle. The Changi ultimate being popped out. Halum taken down as Asi will claim that will deal that finishing blow. And yep, they got their second turret, and they're gonna be pushing for more. But yep, again, Turtle are up for grabs.
Yep, and it looks like Ma. I mean, who was that? That was the Mahit is got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Phobius Yonko is gonna be next. Probably they get picked off by the Cho. I think Cho didn't have the ultimate to do this, so this is a 1 versus 1 gonna be turning into a 3 versus 1 at this point. Yonko does get away, and the Halum will be going in for that backup, but no one is gonna get taken down. Super 6 is very sustainable. Man, no one is taken down. Doa very squishy but still not dying. Yoko will finally get taken down after all that. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I think these guys are just having fun. I mean, this is the last game. I think something's happening in the mid lane as well.
Nothing will be happening for now. Just a little bit of the damage. Glorious Pathway being popped out, though. I think they're gonna force a fight right here. Low on health, just running away. Carry facing a lot of those damage and will not be able to join the fight in just a few moments. Gomek, however, would find another kill down, and yep, the Chu follow up as well with that knock up as Asi will deal that killing blow, taking Mahil down. And this is what I've been talking about. If Mahil and the rest of Fushifaru could really snowball and use their Karina being that painful damage dealer during the early parts of the game, then they could really get that win. But you know what? Joel being one are kind of aware, which is why they also made sure that they can't. Mahil cannot be cannot be given a lot of those farm. And yeah, I think it is looking good for them, especially that Mahil is not. I think is more offline for now, especially that they are able to deal with him with ease.
Yeah, take care of your carries, guys. Halum and their carry, their marksman, yeah, their carry. They have to take care of those. And Fushifaru, they're not doing really well. Halum gets taken down once again. And Fushifaru would do well and try not to get picked out. And Raptor, I think they will be punished for overextending. And so with that, Fushifaru does have the 1-to-1 trade. Jolie being one will be disengaging for now, but once again, Madara will be up for grabs, and I think Jolie being one will be taking that uncontested.
Mm-hmm. The Lord up for grabs already. So with that,
Ooh.
Fushifar face another huge disadvantage right here. Mahil can't really dish out a lot of that damage. Hylos also trying to chase them down with the Glorious Pathway. I do think at this point, Hylos is just pressing Glorious Pathway as soon as he can. And yeah, even he's so tanky. The Changi damage also following up. Halum would be taken down. Asi claiming that kill. The knockup from the Cho finds one going for the ultimate, brings him up for his teammates. That's gonna be free food as Asi will eat him up. That's gonna be a triple. Looking for
Wow.
two more. Could possibly be a savage, but Kyrie will be going back into the game and will not even allow a savage. And at just that point, definitely they can really look towards ending this game. The Glorious Pathway may activated, chasing them down, trying to follow up with a true knock up. Actually, will not be able to get one, but just gonna be spamming that recall button.
And I really love Raptor links over here. I mean, they're very ballsy with their jumping in and overextending, but it does work out. Look at where Jolie being one is standing right now. They have the base, they have the mid lane, but in the end, Fushifaru manages to turn this game around. There's only 3 people left, and Jolie being one, and they are disengaging. They are quite in a numbers disadvantage, and Fushifaru says they're not gonna be giving up this easily, and it's still 10 minutes in the game. So even if Fushifaru gets wiped out, their respawn time is not that long, and so it's not a lot of pressure. But for that, Fushifaru will have to bounce back and try to catch up to the farm as much as possible. Taking a look at that gold lead, that's 10.5k gold deficit on the side of Fushifaru. So they have to chase Asi down 3 versus 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If they're gonna be chasing him down, he's still gonna be fighting this one. I'll probably be delaying that one. But Gomek on the other hand would find a kill on Mahil, and yeah, I think in just a minute, the Lord would be spawning later on, and I think they're gonna be forcing a fight right here. The Chinese damage deals just a huge amount, so they can't really do anything just yet. A few more hits. Oh no, you missed a direction. I think that was just a little bit of that angle, but Yonko, on the other hand, would find a kill onto Asi, giving him a chance. Still popping out, still tries to keep himself alive, but a few more damages to end him there. It's gonna be Raptor Lynx finally dealing that last blow.
And I gotta say, Yonko's sustainability. I mean, that was a 3 versus 1, and still Yonko did lose their lives, but it took a while. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, I love the way CC kind of just sustains all that damage. But over here, we're seeing Jolie being one, finally taking the map control once again onto their side, and Fushifaru is getting pressured into their base, and so we might be seeing a repeat from the previous game. I mean, we're looking at the gold lead of Jolie being one. We're looking at the scoreboard as well. That's 15 whole kills more on the side of Jolie being one, and if we're taking a look at the Lord as well, I think Jolie being one will be taking this Lord uncontested unless Fushifaru will decide on the other hand.
The Lord already being taken right here for Joali being one. Nothing they can do about it. Fushifaru will just try to delay the fight, but I think they're trying to make it happen outside of their base, which is a very huge mistake. One of them would be taken out. Ibu claiming that kill, looking for more. As now, Asi also getting a move on this, and still Halum tries to fight back, taking one down, but Namahil would be eliminated. Double kill right here for Asi, and they would have a big chance at ending right here unless Fushifaru could still be able to beat themselves later on.
And, I mean, the respawn time is still 10 seconds. And so Fushifaru still has time to respawn and try to defend their base before Jolie being one walks in with the Lord. And so with that, Yonko is about to respawn Mahit as well. But on the other hand, Jolie being one, they're not being super aggressive. They don't have the minions on their side and they only have the mid lane to their advantage. Slowly but surely, the Madara will be taken down by Fushifaru. And so with that, Fushifaru will be living to see another maybe 2 minutes. Because in 2 minutes, the next Lord is gonna spawn. And it looks like Jolie being one is really not gonna let up. They really want to put a lot of pressure on Fushifaru. And still, the pressure on for Jolie being one, they cannot allow Fushifaru to catch up on the farm and potentially turn the tides around. But let's see what happens.
Yep. I think they're gonna be
Oh.
pushing this one out right here. Gomek finds one that's gonna be Halum. Glorious Pathway also gives them a very huge path for them to take this win. The Gatot ultimate pops out. Will find only one, but no follow up just yet. Phoebe is trying to fight back. Full HP remaining. I think they could turn this one around. Yonko finds one that's gonna be Asi, the damage dealer of Joal being one, and they're just chasing them one by one as well. Ibu also trying to fight back, but the damage is gonna be too much, I guess, as Gomek will also find a kill. And they're chasing them down. A few more hits, he could be taken out of
Oh.
equation. He's just gonna be playing dodgeball for this one, chat. Anyways, however, there's his teammates already back into the game. They could fight this a little bit longer. The Vexana ultimate popped out, but I guess that would just be it. As game number two on match number one goes to Joali being one.
And with that, Julie being one is the third placer for this Ooredoo Nations Inter-Resort Esports Championship. Congratulations to Jolie being Team 1 for winning this. And of course, congratulations as well for Fushifaru. I mean, that's fourth place in this tournament as well. And that was a fun first series, but of course, the main event will be coming up next. This will be the finals. But before that happens, we will be taking a short break. So we'll be seeing you guys in a few minutes. So stay tuned.
I think the girls with their nails done now. girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
What is up, guys? We are now back into Ordination Gamer Lands Inter Resort Esports Championship 2025, and we are here to witness the finals. We are your shoutcasters. I'm Mike, and with me is Annie.
Yes, that's right, Mike. This is the finals. This is Joali being Team 2 versus Waldorf Astoria Maldives. And we already saw yesterday how Joali being 2 and Waldorf Astoria Maldives played about in their particular semifinals. So this is gonna be the best versus the best. Basically, yeah, basically this is gonna be pretty fun. I mean, these are still teams that are, casual players, once again, casual staff from their particular resorts, but still we're gonna be seeing really fun games. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, something funny will be happening later on, but still we are at the banning and the picking phase. And so far, what can you say about these bans?
Pretty typical bans. We have the Granger ban, we have the Soy ban, we have the Joy ban, we have the Kalia. I mean, what do you expect? This is gonna be the finals. This is gonna be very, very exciting. So with that, I mean, I just can't wait during the picks.
Yeah, during the picks. Right now it's the bans. However, we're seeing Granger getting taken out. Joali being 2, however, banning 2 junglers, and now the Harris. I think they just remember that Basket really takes it that Harith really well. I mean, in their hands, the Harith pretty much wipes out the entire playfield. And I mean, that's a really smart ban. You could tell that Joali being 2 really made their homework last night. They watched that stream, they observed their opponents, and with that, they made some pretty smart bans. And taking that Lucas for Joali being 2, I mean, knowing that Lucas was open, it's a good thing that they took it for themselves.
And yeah, Lucas following that up. I mean, you know what? In ML, there are just a lot of meta champions, meta heroes. So with that, there are just really gonna be OP picks like Lucas. Could also work for Zushin, but okay, a Farsa could actually still work. The damage is also quite immense. Alpha following that up as well. I mean, so far the picks are really just pretty good.
Yep, so that's a jungler for the side of Jolie being two, and Waldorf Astoria has their mid laner as well as their EXP. Farsa has a lot of mobility, which is good, and with that, I mean, typical picks for the junglers. Lucas is quite meta, and so they have the advantage over there. But on the other hand, speaking of meta, we have Nana to go against the Farsa, which is fine. We have the crowd control coming in from the Nana. It's quite annoying, especially. And we have Alpha, the player. They're trying to select their hero, so they're gonna get the Franco. So it's gonna be really annoying for the side of Waldorf Astoria. They'll definitely have to keep themselves in their toes. Oh, we're gonna be seeing a Kimmy for the side of Waldorf Astoria.
Hmm. Okay. 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 This is where it gets interesting already. You know what? I'm really just gonna wait for the last bans and the last picks before I can make a judgment. I mean, so far it's still quite good. They have the Franco, which again I've stated a while ago. If you have a Franco on your team, then definitely that's gonna be a Franco, a different type of gameplay. So, um, a Waldorf Astoria would have to be prepared for that. Also, on the other hand, I think Hylos got banned, so no clear pathway for now. But you know what? I mean, yeah, it kind of worked, I guess. I mean, yeah, we're still waiting on the last bans.
Yep. And I think Waldorf Astoria is still lacking their jungler, so they'll definitely need a jungler that's more on the side of the physical attack, especially since Kimmy is both physical and magic attack. They'll have to think about that, and of course, Farce is a mage and Alpha. Yep, there's a bit depending on the build that the Alpha is gonna be getting. They'll either have the physical or more on the defensive side and more on the sustain. And so with that, taking a look at Jolie being two so far, of course they do have the Lucas, they have the Franco, and they have the Nana, so they'll have to think about their carry as well as their EXP laner. And so with that, Waldorf Astoria, they decided to take the Irithel and the Hylos off of the table. And on the other hand, Jolie being two, they don't want to see that Hayabusa and the Minotaur. I mean, the Minotaur, I think Waldorf Astoria used the Minotaur once and they managed to set really well. So that's a respect pick as well. But on the other hand, Pomelo will be answering back with a Gapit Gacha, which is like pretty good, especially if you consider the crowd control as well as the sustain.
Yep, we're gonna be following onto the Nolan pick as well, and yeah, we're gonna be heading on to the Land of Dawn in just a few moments. And I think Annie, you have your favorites right here. There's the Naruto, and yeah, we're still waiting for the game. I mean, I've already stated a while ago. We're gonna be waiting on especially just a few moments. But guys, this is the finals. So like, comment, and share the stream to your friends, to your families. And before we'll see the conclusion of today's tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing Naruto on the field. And with that, this will be the first game for the finals. This is Waldorf Astoria versus Jolie being two. I mean, these are the two best teams so far in this Inter-Resort Championship. And so with that, crossing my fingers that we'll be seeing some pretty interesting plays coming up from these two teams. And once again, these guys are casuals. So nothing too exciting, nothing too novel. I'm sure they're just playing how they usually play in the ranked games as a five-man team. And with that, doesn't look like there might it doesn't look like there'll be a potential invade. But of course, Alpha as the Franco, they'll definitely try and sabotage the farm. Oh my gosh, that's already hook on the first try.
Definitely the hook connecting, but they have to run. The Farsa still manages to keep himself at the distance, but he is just low on health. He has to move back in
Uh-huh.
order to join the fight as soon as possible. Oop, and okay, never mind.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, this is why I totally hate the Franco, especially if the Franco is in the opposing team, because Franco is just so good at disrupting farm, especially for your junglers, especially since if your Franco is really good and they know how to hide within the bushes, you can find yourselves getting picked off for no reason. But 3 versus 3 potentially in the top lane. Let's see if something's gonna happen.
Yep,
Oh,
definitely still connecting those shots. The first blood already going to Lucas. That's gonna be Rin taking one down. Prego 59 would also find another kill, getting that 2 points from the side of Joali being number two.
and I'm gonna say, I
Oh,
mean, Waldorf Astoria, they had like a pretty good plan when they tried to invade Jolie being two's jungle, but in the end, Jolie being two was prepared. They had 3 players on the top lane ready to for backup, and so with that, I think we're gonna be seeing a repeat on the bottom lane.
yep, there you have it. Man Panda already finding one. It's gonna be Ordre. Still trying to fight back. Pomelo will also go down 4-0 in just 2 minutes. And even a first turtle from the side of Jolie B number two, definitely they could really set an easy game number one win for their team against the Waldorf Astoria. And the goal right here for Astoria is just to really minimize the mistakes that they can make.
Ooh,
Because Joel
wow.
being two is just trying to capitalize on that one, but they're going in for an invade right here. Mad Panda will find one, taking Gatot Kacha down. Imagine as well connecting those shots, and that would get the 5-1.
Oh my gosh, Mad Panda's gonna lose their lives here, but the Nana passive activates does not save her. Basket bags that kill, and with that, I'm a little bit worried with Ordre. This is a 0 to 3 to 1 on the KDA, and that is their jungler. We're still 2 minutes into the game, we're still 3 minutes in the game, and so a lot of the damage hinges upon number one, the jungler, and number two, the mage and the top lane. I think Prego might be in a little bit of a pinch.
Yep, a few more, and
Oh,
that's gonna be it. Buzzkit will find one. Could be looking for the second one, and that's gonna be Alpha taking the kill.
I mean, that was pretty funny. I mean, Alpha was a little bit late to the party, but at least it was a 1-for-1 trade. With that bottom lane, they're just kind of poking about, but I don't think that's gonna be resulting into anything. But still, taking a look at how Waldorf Astoria is doing so far. Once again, not doing quite well in the early game, especially Orj once again getting taken down. I'm saying this. This is the jungler we're talking about. The jungler and the mage are the main damage dealers for the early game, and imagine gets picked off by that Franco. It's just going really well for Jolie being two. And let me remind you guys, Jolie being one won third place, and if Jolie being two wins this, I mean it's pretty interesting tournament, don't you think? Oops.
Yep, definitely right here. Trying to connect those shots. The crowd control, everything connects. The X-Borg damage as well, but Mystic Lord will find Rin down. They're chasing them down as well. The Kimi getting that damage in, but it will not be enough. The range is just too short.
Yep, Waldorf Astoria, they had the jungle to their advantage. I mean, it was their home court, and Jolie being two attempted that invade, untargetable so early on into the game. But Waldorf Astoria, they finally get a breather. They have this turtle on their side. Jolie being two, they're getting a little bit of a setback for now, but still they have a lot of lead. They have a 3k gold lead against Waldorf Astoria, and they also have the lead in terms of kills. They have 5 more kills against Waldorf Astoria, but once again, this is still early to mid game. We're still 5 minutes into the game, so a lot of things can happen, especially if Jolie being two can catch up to the farm, but potential 2 versus 4, but there's two coming up as backup at the bottom for Jolie being two.
Imagine getting a kill onto Alpha, chasing them down as well, trying to fight back. But that would not be enough for now, and they will be having. Oh, actually, maybe Prego
Oh,
59. Few more. Rin will take Imagine down. That's gonna be it, giving them a more chance to fight this one out. 10-5. The gap is really widening for Joel being two, and they could really just set this one up for their victory.
yeah, and just taking a look at the map, I think both teams are gonna be disengaging. Pomelo is losing a lot of health, but we're not gonna be worrying about that too much. I mean, that is a Gatot that we're talking about, and of course, the gold lane. I'm a little bit worried. There's a lot of people coming about. I don't know if this is gonna be resulting into an engagement, however.
Yeah, maybe not because they're kind of near the turret unless they're gonna be going for the gank. But you know what? The turtle will be up for grabs in just a few moments, and yeah, we're still gonna be waiting on to respawn on that one. And I think they're really just eyeing on that one. I think in just a few moments it would start already.
Yeah, and for Jolie being two, they definitely have more of the map in terms of the turtle, but I think it's gonna be equalizing between these two teams. Potential 4 versus 3 on the turtle export still on at the bottom lane. There are two people on the top lane, and Nolan is actually at the top lane. So if ever they're gonna be going for the turtle, it will be Jolie being two that will be bagging this, unless Jolie being two's and Juggler will be taken down. And with that, Rin does get one kill. We're seeing a dance over here.
Yes, trying to fight back right here. The damage connecting, double kill. Rin will find this one out. Xborg on the other hand pushing his limits right here. What you know what? He was actually zoning them out as well. So the turtle would be
Ooh.
going to the side of a Joel being two. The turret already being destroyed. Looking for a little bit more of that, and that's gonna be the second turret. Actually, we could be looking for the third turret being taken out just at the same time. And yes, they do eventually push this one out to the second turrets.
Yep, Waldorf Astoria, slowly but surely, I think they're getting punished for their multiple deaths in the early game. There's definitely a snowball happening, and Waldorf Astoria, one more good team fight. Yep, that was a hook.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Pomelo also getting a shutdown on Rin, which gives them that chance to fight back. But it could be a very difficult one, especially that Jolie being two are already widening their gaps right here. We're already at 8 points, and the farm as well. We are quite around 5,000 gold lead. But yeah, break limit will find one, trying to look for the others as well. But Prego 59 would also find a kill of his own, chasing them down with just a few more before he moves back.
Man, that hook is hooking everyone, and OJ once again suffering this, but in the end, Alpha unfortunately will be martyred in that part. Yeah, that was a 2-1 trade, and so still Jolie being two has the upper hand in this game so far. We're still 8 minutes into the game. We're gonna be seeing the first Lord spawning in just a few seconds, and Nolan is already hovering about in that area. But of course, Lucas is also within the vicinity, and so let's see who will get this Lord if ever one of these teams will try to attempt to trying to get this Lord. I think we're gonna be seeing a dance really soon, especially with Gato using their ultimate.
Mm-hmm. And I think right here, double kill, Prigo 59 already finds that double kill, could be chasing for more. But you know what? That would be enough as they can already zone this one out and take the Lord with ease. Brick Limit, on the other hand, would find another kill, giving Waldorf Astoria a very huge disadvantage at this point in time.
Yep, and Jolie being two, that's already 19-7 on the scoreboard. So that's 12 whole kills on the advantage of Jolie being two. So I think if Jolie being two, they don't make any further mistakes, if they ride on this snowball, they probably have this in the bag. And time again, Wall of Astoria, I don't think they really know their place in this game right now. I mean, they have to fall back every single time. They have to work on their farm because basically they're kind of really behind. That's almost a 10k gold lead. Alpha getting taken down, getting picked off, getting punished. But I think Jolie being two wants to go aggressive.
They got the gotcha popped out low on health. The Lord taking the turret down from middle. The blast will still be used. And right here, just a few more. And a goal actually goes for the charge, but the Lord will be used up. On the other hand, from the top side, the turret is already quite exposed. And yeah, it would just need a few more before they can get that hole in and maybe push for game number one.
Yep. And Jolie being two, they did a good job pushing the minions towards the side of Waldorf Astoria. They took advantage of that mother as well, and so they had a lot of targets being taken down in that span of few minutes. But over here and the top part of the map,
Connecting those shots once again. Mad Panda finding one. Imagine replying with a kill of his own. Prego 59 will find Buzzkit down. and that would try to even things out. And you know what? While they're still even, I think it is kind of looking good for, I don't know, maybe the team of Jolie being two. Especially they're really quite strong at this point in time compared to Waldorf Astoria. But I don't know, maybe Imagine can also deal a lot of damage to them. Oh, could be going in for the charge. Rin connecting those once again. A few, just one more before he takes that. He goes down. Well, that would be it. He finds another one and could actually be going for that, but not yet. Okay.
And it's really frustrating to see the KDA of Urdre, their jungler 0 to 7. I think this is what happened, what went wrong on the side of Waldorf Astoria. They didn't manage to have the advantage in the early game, and now they're seeing the consequences of their actions towards the late game. Wow, Basket gets picked off by that hook.
Definitely the damage, the knockup, the crowd control, everything connecting right here. A few more, and Rin will find one. That's gonna be Pomelo being eliminated out for this game. A few more, double kill. The mid turret already exposed, chasing them more. They're hungry for more. Still, Mystic Lord will be down, and they're gonna be waiting for these minions to come back. Buzzkit, on the other hand, would be slowly coming back to life. And oh, he actually baited him out of it, and I think we could possibly look at a game number one right here, unless Buzzkit could defend this with ease, and he does eventually.
I mean, that was a wipeout, but in the end, Basket manages to buy just a little. Oh my gosh, they should have just tower locked. I think Jolie being two had this in the bag, but I don't know. They probably didn't want to risk it. But then again, they did have the numbers advantage, so I'm not sure why they were. I mean, they didn't want to just like end the game at that point. They saw Basket respawn and they didn't want to give the kill to them. But you know what? They still have the map advantage. They have the map control. They have the Lord on their side once again, and still not much pressure going into the side of Jolie being two. I mean, we're looking at only one turret being taken down from their side. And so with that, Waldorf Astoria, they'll definitely have to try to defend another wave of the Lord.
Yes, definitely. The damage from the Farsa also doing its work. Prego 5-9 would find two, find three, looking for two more. Lucas also trying to dish out that damage in order for them to take them out. Alpha getting that finishing blow. Their basket, on the other hand, still tries to fight back, but they just need a few more minions. They could probably push this one out and win, but a few more once again. Busket holding this one out, getting grabbed already. With Prego 59 would take it, and game number one going to Joali being two.
And once again, Jolie being 1-0 on the scoreboard for this series. Once again, guys, this is the finals between Waldorf Astoria and Jolie being team 2. And with that, we will be moving on to game number 2 really soon to see if we're going to be seeing a game number 3, or will this be the victory of Jolie being 2. That will be answered later on, but for now, we'll be taking a short break, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
We are back to game number 2, and I was told that this is actually a best of 5. And so, Jolie being 2 will need 2 more points to bag this championship. And once again, this is the finals, the conclusion of this tournament, rather. And we are the casters. My name is Annie, and Mike is with me. Mike, what do you think about this final so far?
Thank you so much for that, Annie. And since we're gonna be heading on to best of 5, we could be actually, I think, Waldorf Astoria could have the chance to take this one away from Joali being 2. And I think it really just starts with the drafting and it's how they play with the heroes they chose inside the game. And right here, they're gonna be banning that's Franco and Granger. Kind of a new switch right here for Waldorf Astoria. And yeah, so you can be banned for Joali being 2 and a Joy as well.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of respect bans coming in. I mean, we have the Franco ban, we have the Granger ban, and Joy is a pretty meta ban, and of course, Suyu we saw in the previous games. If ever Suyu isn't banned, they're picked, and when they're picked, it really sets the tide for the games. It really gives a lot of advantage. And right now, we're not gonna be seeing another Lucas coming in for the side of Jolie being 2 because Waldorf Astoria has learned their lesson. So with that, final ban will be the Kalia, and Basket finally gets a hold of their Harith finally.
And yeah, I mean, definitely for now, Harith getting the kill. I mean, sorry, Harith could be
Already.
getting that pick. And yeah, I'm just excited for the game, guys. But yeah, Layla, finally, we're gonna be seeing another Layla for this match right here, and we could be looking at another hero which will be selected later on.
Yeah, Alpha was the tank in the previous game. I think they were playing Franco, so it could be okay. They will be taking an EXP laner for this next game, and so with that, that will be an X-Borg as well as a Layla on the side of Jolie being 2. And I'm really excited because Waldorf Astoria, they've been denied Baskets Harith time and time again. It's always being banned, especially if they're gonna be if Waldorf Astoria is gonna be playing. And so now that it's on the table, now that it doesn't have it didn't get banned, I'm really excited to see if Waldorf Astoria will finally put a point on the scoreboard for their side, or will Jolie being 2 still bag this win nonetheless?
And yeah, while waiting for these picks, then definitely just looking at how a Jolie being 2 right here, a Layla and an X-Borg, which is really gonna be surprising. Though they really just have to get Layla, especially since she doesn't have that mobility. So yeah, I mean Nana, the Harith can really just dash a lot of those times, and also inflict a lot of the damage. But the Hylos to be picked up right here from the side of Jolie being 2 gives them that. I think will really give them that advantage if they do end up with a high loss. But yeah, currently watching as well. That's gonna be Belleric with for the side of Waldorf Astoria. Nana to complete that with a Harith. Oh, a Tigreal. Okay.
Okay, yeah, definitely okay. And for World of Astoria, since their carry is gonna be magic, both of the carries are gonna be magic. That's a mid laner and their gold laner as well. They'll probably have to pick a jungler and an AXP lane it is non-negotiable that they have to be physical attackers. But let's see what Waldorf Astoria will do. On the other hand, Jolie being two, I like the Tigreal pick, especially if they can manage to get one really good set, follow that up with the Layla as well as their potential mage later on. I think that would be working out really well, especially with the X-Borg as well. Just have that map awareness and that communication with their team. But of course, our second phase of the banning, we're seeing Hayabusa being taken off the table as well as that Xavier. And so, for the side of Wall of Astoria, they don't have jungler yet, and that goes the same actually with Jolie being two as well. So that Julian is being taken off the table, and Jolie being two, they also lack a mage. On the other hand, Waldorf Astoria, they lack an EXP laner. So let's see how that plays out. We're still in the banning phase. We're seeing Xavier getting taken out. That's Julia and Hayabusa. So Waldorf Astoria, either they'll ban a mage or an assassin or another jungler, or Dre is gonna be picking as well, so they have to think about their picks. But Zushin will be taken off the table, and so with that, let's see how Jolie being 2 will answer to that.
Okay, of Vexana. Well, I don't know, my thoughts are here. I'm just really waiting for the final picks. I mean, Vexana being picked up while, okay, Tigreal could do the set. Vexana could follow that up with the ultimate. Layla could go for the damage unless he's gonna be targeted by the Harith. And then an export to support the Tigreal. Alright. But right here,
Nice.
oh, Hanzo. Yeah, Hanzo. Waldorf Astoria could actually win this if they could use the Hanzo to their full potential.
Yes, definitely. I like all of Astoria's lineup here. I mean, the Minotaur for that set, the Belric for the sustain, Hanzo definitely a lot of mobility as well as damage on the jungle. And once again, the Harriet on the hands of Basket. This is gonna be really interesting. And of course, I really also love the Tigreal and the Vexana combo. Hopefully, that will be executed really well later on, but that's something that we're gonna be finding out later on. But for now, of course, these are our lineups. Once again, this is the second game out of a best of 5. This is Waldorf Astoria versus Jolie being 2 on a best of 5. And so with that, let's see if Jolie being 2 will put another point on the scoreboard on their side. If ever they win this game, this is gonna be their match point. But if they don't, we'll be seeing 1-1 on the scoreboard if ever Waldorf Astoria will win this game.
I mean, for that, I mean, you know what? Waldorf Astoria still has the chance to fight this one out, especially, they have two chances to take this away from Jolie Being 2, but Jolie Being 2 currently are experimenting with their picks, so I'm really looking for that to shine as well.
Yep, to shine and to shine. That's what the teams right now should be doing. But taking a look at the map right now, I mean, everyone's just settling into their lanes. There's no potential invades, and everyone's kind of just going about the rotations. There's a bunch of pokes here and there in the mid lane, but it's not really gonna result into any kills. But let's see what Prego will do. Will they rotate into the mid lane or not? They're still at level 3, so I'm not sure if he'll really commit to that. Yep, they're gonna be going for the blue buff. And just taking a look at the map right now, potential gank towards the gold lane, especially with the Hanzo. Let's see what's gonna happen right now.
I think they're just really gonna be focusing on these objectives, and yeah, again, just buying those boots unless they're really gonna go for an engagement, which will not happen. The Hanzo trying to go for a charge because that's where Hanzo is really strong at during early stages, so that he has to capitalize on that. But Joali being two are also trying to fight them against that. And you know what? I think we're just gonna be waiting for the turtle to spawn in order for something to really happen.
Whoa. That was a nice set. Audrey gets taken down by Prego 59. Imagine very low on health. Pomelo gets away with their lives. That doesn't go the same with Prego 59, however. And two people very low on health on the side of Waldorf Astoria. Alpha gets taken down. And so with that, that is a That is a 2-for-1 trade, Waldorf Astoria, with the numbers advantage in terms of the scoreboard. I mean, this is still 2 minutes in the game. Not much seen in the terms of the gold leads. So this is something that we're gonna have to see if this is gonna make a difference. But still, Turtle is up for grabs, and the junglers are nowhere to be seen. They're still farming their buffs. They're still farming the jungle before they really commit to this. But we're seeing that I mean, there are players from both of these teams hovering about, so let's see who will get this turtle.
And right here, we could be getting the turtle for the side of Jolie being two. They're pushing this one out. They're trying to zone them as well, but they're gonna be trying to steal that one. Hanzo already into the fight, and Prego will secure it for the team. On the other hand, they'll be pushing in, getting those damages out the X-Borg, connecting those damage, those fire, which gets him that kill and a double kill right here for our Yin as well.
Yep, and all the while, the gold laners are kind of just minding their own business. And they have to, because they have to get all of those items in the bag. However, we might be seeing Jolie being too rotating into the gold lane and see what happens.
Connecting once again. Buzzkit will find Alpha down, still trying to resist their damage from here, and I think we could get a kill right here. Buzzkit already getting that kill, and RJ would also do the same thing. Waldorf Astoria could really have the chance to fight this one out, especially they're currently leading, which is 6-4.
And but that the previous engagement, there's two people down on the side of Jolie being two. We're seeing that Waldorf Astoria, now that they have the Harith on their side, as well as some pretty good picks. We have the Minotaur, we have the sustain from that Balearic as well. I think it's going well so far for Waldorf Astoria. Jolie being two, they don't have the advantage right now, clearly. But over at the top lane, there's a lot of sustain for two of these players. Let's see what's gonna happen once the scales tip to a 3 versus 2.
Giant connect once again. The Hanzo ultimate popped out. Urde, actually the first kill rather, but Urde will get that kill. Prego 5-9 would also be doing the same thing, and they could be pushing this one to the first turret, but of course, Imagine is already there, so they can't really just take on that. But you know what? Jolie being two are also just trying to minimize their mistakes in order to get back and turn this one around.
And actually crossing my fingers for Urdre. They didn't have a good game in the previous match. But right now they're doing quite well. It's 2 to 1 to 3 on the KDA. But over there in the gold lane, we're seeing a set of one.
And going in, Rin would take kill. Going for the knockup as well, just connecting those shots, he gets to freely hit them. Buzzkit will get the mega kill, but you know what? It will not be enough just yet as they're trying to take Turtle away from them. The Tigreal still fights back with a CC can provide. A few more. What Mystic Lord Waldorf Astoria will get that Turtle. On the other hand, Jolie being two will try to fight back. And I was watching the events as they unfold. But you know what? I'm gonna talk about them later on. Hanzo, on the other hand, would be trying to clean this one out, and it does look like Waldorf Astoria are already trying to widen the gap even more. I was looking at the health of the turtle. It was 82 HP remaining. One more hit from the Layla, but the Layla accidentally, I think he accidentally focused his target and pressed the wrong button, which got him to focus onto an enemy hero.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out for them, but still, Waldorf Astoria does have the scoreboard on their side. But in terms of gold lead, it's just a slight tipping on the scales on the side of Waldorf Astoria. But still, they can capitalize on this. They can try to widen the gap in terms of the gold, in terms of the kills as well, and then potentially pull the favor of the tides in their side. But let's see what's gonna happen over here at the top part of the river. Will there be an engagement? That's the question. But it looks like Jolie being two will be backing down. Wall of Astoria will not be engaging. Let's see what's gonna happen in mid lane.
And yep, while what's happening, the knock up, the damage, Order X will find one. That's gonna be Prigo 5-9. Pomelo falls down as well. Rin getting those skills down. Buzzkit goes for the double, could be going for the triple. And I think they're chasing them down as well. The damage from Layla is insane and immense. he gets to kill him, and now they're gonna be pushing this one out. And you know what? This is what I've been talking about. Layla is really a strong hero, but at the same time, Harith could counter him by just being a mobile hero to work with, and Harith is really doing that one, so he's not really getting hit a lot of times. Same with Layla, so I do think that the deciding factor later on would be these gold laners.
Yeah, the gold laner's doing quite well. Oh my gosh, Rin is crazy. But in the end, the Pomelo saves their lives.
Still trying to back killing spree from Ordre. 16-10. Waldorf Astoria could get this one in their bags. Prego 5-9 would take one down. The Yin ultimate being popped out. They will take one down, and they're gonna be chasing them down, just zoning them away from the turtle as much as possible.
Yep, four players from the side of Waldorf Astoria having the turtle on their side, and on the other hand, Pomelos just try to push back the players from Jolie being two, but they're not letting up really easily. But in the end, the basket, I think they have this in the bag. They have the turtle on their side, but on the other hand, taking a look at the map, we have Xborg doing their best to, you know, they have the minions on their side. They managed to take down one turret, and it's just objectives, objectives, objectives in their minds. They're in their own world right now. But on the other hand, for everyone else, we're taking a look at the map. I mean, Jolie being two, they have the bottom lane. But on the other hand, World of Astoria definitely still has, no doubt, the advantage, especially with Basket getting that kill against Rin. 4-2 on the KDA. In the mid lane, we're seeing a potential 5 versus 4. Let's see if something's gonna happen.
I think we're just gonna be waiting on that one, as Urdre will find one. There's gonna be a Mad Panda giving them a chance. Imagine as well, widening by taking the second one down, and two more members. Urdre would be taken out. However, Prego 5-9 still pretty much will also fall down. It's just gonna be the last member that's gonna be break limit being chased out. He's just really trying to thin these waves out. Rin though would be back into the game, but will not be able to contribute for this team fight.
It was a 3-1 trade. Waldorf Astoria only losing Urdre in that team fight. That's a pretty good that was a pretty good fight aside of Waldorf Astoria, but we're seeing a potential turret dive. That turret is pretty low on health. Break limit, however, gets away with their lives. They still have Xborg's passive, so let's see what's gonna happen at that point. But of course, we're taking a look at what's gonna be happening for the rest of the map. I thought there might be something happening in the mid lane, but unfortunately, Jolie being two, they're kind of just focused on defense right now. And that's something that they should be focusing on, because right now, they definitely have a considerable gold deficit. I mean, that's probably like a 3-4K gold deficit on the side of Jolie being two. So they have to play it safe. They have to play defensively. But on the other hand, the Lord just spawned. We're seeing a potential dance over here. 5 versus 5. There's a set.
Oop, the knock up, the damage following up once again. Buzzkit gets a kill, monster kill. On the other hand, Hanzo also takes one down. Urdre will find one, 23-13. Now the turret would also be destroyed, giving them a big power here, an advantage to push out. Bragos 5-9 would also be taking Pomelo down. Hanzo also trying to chase them, but I think he would be settling on to that Arin. Oh, not enough.
Overextend. That wasn't overextend, but they get away with their lives. Urdre's still alive. With that, Basket goes ahead and tries to start on their Lord, but I think that's not gonna be enough. There's not enough people on the side of Waldorf Astoria to get this objective. But taking a look at the blue buff, there might be a chance that Urji can get this buff, but it's a good thing they have the Hanzo. This is the great thing about the Hanzo, guys. You could just attempt, and then if things go all right, you can just pull back really quickly. And so there's a lot of people hovering in the mid lane. Jolie being two, the best thing that they can do right now is kind of play defensive, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
And yeah, for now, Urdre would find one, taking one panda down, chasing them as well. The Buzzkit also trying to inflict that damage, but I think nothing will be happening just yet unless Buzzkit already finding one. But you know what? They will need the minions in order for them to gain an advantage.
And with two people down on the side, Jolie being two, Waldorf Astoria can finally get the chance to get this Lord. And I mean, Jolie being two, they can attempt to contest, but they definitely did not have the opening for that. And so the best thing that they can do right now is kind of just stay in their base and do their best to defend. Right now, we're taking a look at the items. I mean, beside of Waldorf Story, there's a pretty built items as well. But on the other hand, Jolie Being 2 has a considerable amount of items as well. We're taking a look at their Layla, already three full builds, and so that's pretty good. But on the other hand, Harith also has a considerable amount of builds as well. They just got those blood wings, so that's going well for them. So let's see what's gonna happen right now with Madara being on the mid lane. I think there's something happening in the jungle as well.
And again, trying to fight back the damage from the X-Borg. Also, I think they're just really connecting right here. Busket will find one. The ultimate from the Layla being popped out, but double kill for Busket. Still, with that a high possibility that they can end this in an early notice. Triple kill already before being taken out by Rin. Now the Yin and the Changi would be left, and I think they would just be left with those minions to take care of.
Mm. And with less than 2 minutes before the next lord will respawn, I think everyone else will kind of get a little bit of a breather for now, especially with Jolie being two losing their team fights time and time again. And that goes because they're kind of behind on the gold. They're also behind on the EXP. So the best thing that they can do is avoid team fights, avoid being picked off. Allow Waldorf Astoria to put a lot of pressure on them. Just focus on getting those minions. And I think Prego will be in a pinch once Waldorf Astoria comes in for the backup.
And yep, the go in for the damage as well. Rin just freely hitting them down. The knockups, the crowd control are all just connecting. Mystic Lord could find one, looking for the second right here. But on the other hand, Xborg is pushing them, and you know what? They're just really doing their best into taking them down one by one. The Aegis will be used up, and I think, yep, he would be eliminated.
Look at that. Finally, Jolie being two almost wiped out, but Rin manages to get away with their lives. And so Waldorf Astoria has all the time in the world to go ahead and kind of push the minions back towards Jolie being two. It'll still be a while before the Lord will respawn once again. And so Jolie being two has time to kind of go ahead and respawn the rest of their players. So not much to worry about, but definitely Jolie being two will have to go ahead and take care of their base as much as possible because Walter Story is definitely not giving them room to breathe. But I really think one good set from Jolie being two, one good team fight, one good wipeout, potentially they can have this game turned around. But in the mid lane, I don't know if something's gonna happen. I don't know if Jolie being two will take the bait, but let's see what's gonna happen.
Again, they're just doing everything right here. Harith already being popped with the ultimate. Exborg doing his moves as well, but Rin freely hitting them down. That's gonna be a shutdown. And I think someone tried to get him. That's gonna be Busket, but he's too much. He's too painful right here. He's a maniac looking for the savage right here. And actually, Ordre would be able to run away from this one unless okay, he will not be committing to that one. But this is what I've mentioned a while ago, because at the late game Layla could really push this one out, especially with the damage that he does is just immense, especially during the late parts of the game.
I love what Rin did back there in the team fight. Actually, we saw a while ago how the team fight. Oh my gosh, she actually so much damage against Urdre, and Urdre manages to get away with her life. Just a single pinch. Let's see if Break Limit will finally get that in the bag. But it looks like everyone else from Waldorf Astoria will be respawning. I think there might be a potential contest. Unfortunately, it's Rin who will be getting that Lord. Let's see what's gonna happen in this team fight next.
And yep, Busket finds one. Rin also taking Pomelo down, their tank, and he could be eliminating already one by one. Rin going in for that ultimate. Ordre will find two, and now double kill as well, but a monster kill. Look at this, low on health. He finds one. I'm sorry, everyone, but he finds one. That's gonna be a double kill. and he's just gonna be doing this victory lap right here. Could be doing and maybe taking them out. But you know what? The lifesteal is amazing.
I mean, Rin's first item was the Has Claws, so that's to be expected. And we can see there's actually 4 people down on the side of Jolie being 2. But the worst part is the one they left alive would be Rin, would be the Layla. And Layla manages to get a 1 turret down before finally losing their lives. And with that, everyone else from Jolie being 2 are respawning. That goes the same with Waldorf Astoria as well. And so we're gonna be seeing a bit of a reset. Rin will be joining the fray a little bit late, about half a minute for the spawning, and still not much pressure. There's still less than 2 minutes before that next lord will pop up, but we can see Layla was on a full build. This is gonna be really exciting. I mean, Jolie being 2, they were so behind on the mid and early game. Let's see if the tides will turn. Let's see if things will change now that Rin has respawned, now that Rin is popping off, now that Rin has their full build, has their full potential. Will Layla turn this game around, or will Waldorf Astoria still manage to get this win?
I really think right here, Joali being 2 are already starting their comeback right here, especially with Layla. If they cannot get Layla like right here, that they have to get Layla while the fight is not yet starting, because if they can't, it's just gonna be very hard to deal with Layla later on, because he could take them out one by one, and he does. Look, one and find one. Rin will take the first kill down from this fight. Also fighting back, though going in for the knock up. The Aegis will be used up. Still trying to inflict a lot of that damage. Rin would also be able to take Pomelo down, looking for more. He goes for the flicker, flickers in, takes the third one, looks for the fourth, and could be a delayed
Wow.
Savage right here. A few more. Oh, actually, never mind. That's gonna be a delayed Maniac from Layla, and you know what? We're just gonna be nearing its end for game number 2 right here if they cannot put a stop to this one. And Layla just free hitting the base, the crystal. And I think that's gonna be it. Game number 2 being turned around by Jolie being 2.
And that was on a late game, guys. We saw Rin's final KDA was 15 kills. That's absolutely amazing. Jolie being 2, getting this late game in the back. We really thought Waldorf Astoria finally has this. But then in the other hand, I mean, we really thought Basket with their Harith, they can finally turn the tides around. But in the end, we saw Rin prove us wrong with the Layla finally getting those items. They managed to get this win in the bag, and now we are on match point for Jolie being 2. We'll be moving on to game number 3 with 2 possibilities. Will Waldorf Astoria extend this to a game number 4, or will Jolie being 2 clinch this championship? We'll be finding that out in the next game, but for now we'll be taking a short break, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Nails done. I like girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like girls with their nails done.
What is up, guys? We are now back into game number 3. With of course the finals. It's a best of 5 once again. So right here, Joali being 2. If they could win game number 3, then they're gonna be the champions. By the way, we are your shoutcasters for tonight, and I am Moik, and with me is Annie.
Yep, guys, we are back into the possible last match for tonight and of this tournament. Especially since Joali being 2 is now on his match point. If they manage to get this third game in the bag, they will be named the champions. However, Waldorf Astoria, they still have a chance. If they manage to get this game, they can push it to a game number 4. And if they get the game number 4, it could be a possible reverse sweep. But still, that's so far off in the future. Right now, we are focused on game number 3 in the first phase of the banning. We're seeing Joy being taken off the table. That goes the same with Suyu as well. And that export is just a respect ban going on against Joali being 2. So let's see the next ban. There's a lot of possibilities. I mean, they can go ahead and ban that Layla just as a respect from that previous game, but it's gonna be all up to Waldorf Astoria, and they will be banning that Kalia.
Banning the Talia once again, and the next work. I think they finally managed to put an end to an export by just really banning them out. Hayabusa would also be banned, but the Hanzo was still free. They could get that later on. The Suyu also banned, and the Joy.
Yep, and the Hayabusa is taken off the table, but Harith is still up for grabs, but obviously we saw Joali being 2. It did not stop them from winning that previous game. So with that, Lucas was on the table, so Rin will be taking that. So if Rin has the Lucas, that means that someone else will be taking the marksman, so they won't be having the Layla for now. But on the other hand, Waldorf Astoria, of course, Basket will be securing that Harith. I mean, still, the previous game, the Harith did really well, and they had the early and the mid game in the bag. So the thing is, they allowed the previous game to drag on to the late game, and that was a mistake because once Joali being 2 got all those items, it just turned the game around. So right now, Waldorf Astoria, they can go ahead with the same lineup. It's just that they shouldn't allow it to drag on into the late game. And so with that, Joali being 2, we're seeing 2 tanks being hovered on right now.
And yep, Franco would be banned once again. Joali being 2, getting a lock onto that. Franco could again secure them their game number 3 right here, especially that they were Waldorf Astoria weren't able to put a stop on that and prioritize on the export. But yeah, we also have the Harith, Hanzo, and Valir to reply with that with those 3 picks as well.
Yep, the Valir to counter pick on the crowd control, especially of the Gatot Gacha. And I mean, Franco, not so much, but the Franco is gonna be really annoying, especially if you're just trying to mind your own business, and especially with the farm in the early game. That Franco is just gonna be really annoying, and the rest of Waldorf Astoria will definitely have to watch their backs. But yeah, we are moving on to the second part of the banning phase, and so Savior will be banned first, and all the while Minotaur, it was almost an auto ban. And so with that, I mean Minotaur with the crowd control with the sustain, that's all the more reason why they should be taken off the table. But so far, with the lineups that we're seeing right now, we're seeing Lucas on the side of Jolie being two pretty meta and a pretty strong pick. But on the other hand, Waldorf Astoria, we're seeing the Harith, which is a beast in the hands of Basket. And we're also seeing a Hanzo really good kit, and depending on the execution, we'll see what's gonna happen after that. And of course, the Valier, good counter, especially with crowd control. So let's see how Jolie being 2 will respond to that.
And yeah, we're just gonna be waiting on those bans once again. We have the Flynn, we have the Savior, we also have the Minotaur, the Granger, Kalia, Cyborg, X-Borg, sorry, Belleric. Okay, completing those bans with a Suyu and a Joy. And yeah, we're gonna be waiting on these last two picks from both of these teams.
Yep, Mystic Lord will be hovering on to that alpha, so that if they're gonna be picking an XP laner, they're lacking they're lacking either a support or a tank. Oh, as long as it's a roamer, they're lacking a roamer. So on the other hand, we're looking at Jolie being 2. They already have the XP laner. They also have the roamer. They have the jungler. So they just need their carries. So that is the Sushin, which is a pretty good pick. But I think they're gonna go for the Nano. Come on, go with the Sushin. But it's actually gonna depend on how comfortable the mid laner is gonna be with their pick. So if they're more comfortable with Nana rather than the Sushin, then I can't blame them. But on the other hand, we're seeing Prego. Not really familiar with this hero.
And yeah, for now, we would still be waiting on these last few picks. Again, the Nana and the rest of the team are pretty much just ready, just waiting for the last pick right here for Waldorf Astoria. This is their do or die moment right here. The Harith, the Hanzo, the Valir, and the Alpha, and a few more, one more. Who's it gonna be? I'm thinking Chip. No, not really. Hylos, no. They really need a strong tank right here.
Well, Melo can still take the Tiger for themselves. I mean, okay, Kufra. Yep, they will be locking in with the Kufra, and just taking a look at the picks, the lineup for both of these teams. Of course, they're typically, pretty well-rounded, pretty balanced. But the question is, how will they execute this lineup? Last in the previous game, Waldorf Astoria were very strong in the early to the into the mid game, but on the other hand, Jolie being to really shine towards the late game, especially when their Layla, when Rin finally got their full build, and with all that really great positioning, with all those team fights being won one after the other, it just made all the difference. Jolie being to pretty much clutch that, but it took 18 minutes for that to happen. And so with that, well, the Fostoria, if they know what their strength is on the early and mid game, so they have to end the game swiftly if they want a chance to tip the best of 5 to their favor. So with that, we're gonna be moving on to game number 3. Match point coming in for Jolie being 2 in this finals. Let's see what's gonna happen now.
Again, we're still at the beginning of the game. Nothing's gonna happen. We're still gonna be waiting onto that ML routine. And yeah, just farming and farming until the turtle spawns, and eventually something will happen that would start to decide the fate of these two teams right here.
Yeah. So taking a look at the map real quick, I mean everyone's just in their lanes, nothing too fancy. There's no invades either, and I mean, there was a Franco, so I was expecting that they'd be harassing the farm of the enemy jungle, but that's definitely not happening. I mean, Alpha's just kind of minding their own business at this point. But yeah, that might change really soon. I think they tried to hook the minions, and unfortunately, that didn't work out really well. But the Tanz was kind of hovering about, trying to see if they can get some jungle creeps. But unfortunately, Lucas kind of took everything already. So let's see if there's gonna be a gank at the gold lane.
Mm-hmm,
Nib-
definitely. Right here, I'm still just gonna be exchanging those damage from top side. On the bot side, however, we could be experiencing a fight, but that wouldn't be happening, and that wouldn't happen in just a few moments. Since especially the objective, the turtle, is also the top side. So Franco just waiting to finally connect his hooks, but I think he's gonna be waiting on to this Hanzo right
Ooh.
here. Franco left with no choice but to run, and I think we could be looking at the first blood, which is already being done from Joali being two, looking for another kill right here as well. That's gonna be Orj being eliminated, looking for the tree as they try to fight that one back, but nope. I think that would just be it for now.
And Jolie being two, they win this first team fight for this game. Once again, still 2 minutes into the game, and let's see who. Actually, it's Bryn that took one kill, and Alpha takes another as well. And so Imagine and Audrey were the ones that loses their lives. Let's see if someone else will lose their lives here.
Still trying to fight back. We got the catch out, connecting, getting that knock up, and he gets the kill eventually. Getting another point 30 already. The gap is starting to widen right here from the side
Ooh.
of Jolie being two. They're chasing them down, but the damage connecting as well from Franco. They're just trying to find an elimination, but while also trying to get this turtle right on their team. And if they could really just connect, then they could win this one. They're just storming them in, but Rin will find one and definitely getting the turtle for his team before they could start to wreak havoc. On the other hand, Imagine would take one of them down, looking for the second one, and he does eventually find Franco. And I think that's just gonna be it.
Yep, two people down on the side of Jolie being two. That was the revenge arc of Waldorf Astoria, but still, in the end, it was a 1-2 trade. And Jolie being two still has the scoreboard on their side, but by just one kill. But that could change later on, especially if Waldorf Astoria will kind of claim the early game for themselves. But right now we're taking a look at the rest of the map. There's still something brewing towards the gold lane, and whether or not there will be a potential team fight here, it's something that we'll be finding out really soon. It looks like Alpha is in trouble.
They already got him. A few more damage could eliminate him, and they do eventually. Imagine finds one, but look at the back lane. They're in, getting one, getting two, trying to get three right here. Could be looking for a maniac, but a few more. Prego would find that or deal that killing blow before they will move back, and I think Lucas would try to overextend.
Ooh.
He gets hit by the crowd control. Imagine will find that mega kill.
That was definitely an overextend, but gotta say, Rin is doing really well in this game. I mean, that's 3 to 2 to 1 on the KDA, and one of those kills was because of an overextend. So, minus the being greedy, I think Jolie being two is doing really well. 3 to 1 on the top side.
And I think they're trying to fish them out, but he's just one. He's just really hugging his tower right here, so nothing will happen just yet unless there will be an elimination right here towards middle. Gafakacha connecting gets one that knock up, just hoping to connect that one, and I think it will not connect. I think they did miss that communication right here, and he does eventually. Mystic Lord will find one that's gonna be break limit. They're chasing them down. They have the chance to fight this one back. Mystic Lord will find the double. Could be
Ooh.
looking for the triple. Rin finding one. Imagine looking for another, taking Rin down, and they have the chance to turn this one around. And now we're here, 7-7.
Oh man, I really thought OJ really overextended there, but in the end, it actually worked out to their favor. And yeah, I was gonna agree with you right there with a little bit of a miscommunication, especially with the Gatot Kacha. I mean, Gatot Kacha, they committed to that set, but in the end we saw everyone else from the side of Jolie being two backing away, and I'm just like, come on, guys. You guys should have just committed to that, and then they kind of left Gotcha to their own elements. But over here, we're seeing the turtle. This is a 5-man turtle on the side of Waldorf Astoria, and of course, would have been too risky to go ahead and contest that on the side of Jolie being two. So with that, Waldorf Astoria clinches on one of those objectives, and Imagine gets hooked on to the bottom of this mid tower. So unfortunately, that's one pick off. Imagine will be losing their life once again, but still they get the final laugh looking at that KDA of 5-2 to 1. Waldorf Astoria, they're doing really well, but on the scoreboard, it's still 8-8, so it's still anyone's game.
And right here, the gold as well is currently led on by Waldorf Astoria. Anyways, Rain will find one. That's gonna be Basket. Mystic Lord will get the turret down as well for his team, but Frego 5-9 looking for another one. 10-8. The gap is already starting to widen up once again, and still, even despite all that, he has held on to his tower.
Yep, and Ordre is gonna back away because they realize there's a lot of people from Jolie being two. And all the while, Mystic Lore actually lost their lives. Let's see what's gonna happen in mid lane.
Another knock up, another damage as well, connecting. But nothing will happen just yet. No kills, no eliminations for now. Because that will just be it. I think they're just really respecting these teams right here.
Yep, the respect is coming in, but in the other hand, there will be a Lord in 30 seconds. And with that, actually, Jolie being two, they're still pretty scattered all around the map, especially on their side of the map. But on the other hand, Waldorf Astoria has a really good position, especially if they want to take this first Lord. Or Dre gonna dive in, but still, this is gonna be the hunt, so let's see what's gonna happen.
Nothing will happen just yet. Hanzo trying to fight that. But I think they're chasing him down. Rin will find the kill. And I think they're looking for more. They are hungry for more. As they will try to maybe gank. But I think they have already gotten some information. Which will just make them delay their push for now. Got to Tatcha going in for the knock up. Trying to take down the first third as well. But Mystic Lord will find a kill onto the Rin. And they're chasing them down 2v2. Looking for the third one to join in from the side of Jolie Bing. And here, Prego 5-9 would find one. Still, that's gonna be the turret being destroyed from the bottom lane. And I think they're just gonna be distracting them so that they cannot go home.
And with that, Basket is rotating towards the top side, but they'll be late to the party, completely late to the party. Let's see what Urji will be going on. It's a good thing that they have the failsafe on their side, managed to get away, but once again, the Lord is up for grabs. And no one's interested in the Lord in the objective right now because everyone's kind of scattered all around the map. No one's really trying for anything but in the mid lane.
Yep, there we go. The damage connecting once again. Julie being hunted, and it does look like Urde will find one. They're trying to look for the second, but I think nothing would happen just yet. But look at the back lane, going in for the damage. Rin will find one. Pomelo taken out of the equation. No tank for you. Rin will be eliminated still. That's gonna be a trade, but they got the catch up coming in. The knock up connects. It needs to just follow up with the damage, but the damage dealers from Jolie Being are already being attacked as well. So that leaves them in a fair 2v2, 2v3 whatsoever.
Yeah, and in the end, Waldorf Astoria still the last two players that are still alive is Basket and Imagine. I mean, that's a good thing, but on the other hand, the carries they're just really too late to the party. And so with that, Waldorf Astoria is really lacking on the damage. They're just never there. And so with that, they have to definitely something needs to change in the future team fights. But yeah, we're taking a look at the mid lane right now, and we're also keeping an eye out on the top lane. That is a 2 versus 1. But once again, that's a Gacha, but everyone is trying to rotate into the area. Let's see what's gonna happen. It looks like break limit rather will be losing their lives, but in the mid lane, let's see what's gonna happen.
Lucas goes in for the attack. Rain will take one down. It's gonna be Imagine. And the damage dealer for Waldorf has already been eliminated. They're gonna be chasing them down. Look at it. Hanzo going in for the damage as well, but it will not be enough to take one down.
Team on the other hand, going for the damage, still trying to make that one. Buzzkit is eliminated. Prego 5-9 looking for more as he tries to push this one out. The Franco hook failed, but you know what? They would take that as a win.
With three people down inside Waldorf Astoria, it might be possible to get this Lord, but Mad Panda does get taken down by Ordre, but Ordre also gets revenge killed in that point. There's a double kill coming in from Prego, and now Jolie being two, they can potentially get this Lord, but Imagine is still alive. Imagine, I mean, they could get this steal, but slowly but surely, there are two people on the side of Waldorf Astoria. Imagine slays Alpha. Mother still alive. Whoa, wait a minute. Four people down on the side of Jolie being two. What just happened in that small amount of time?
Definitely, I think they were really lacking a communication right there. I think some of them were focusing too much on the Lord, while some were focusing on the enemies. I think there are just a lot of mistakes from Jolie being right here, especially with how their communication works. And Waldorf Astoria is already capitalizing on that mistake and already looking for a possible end right here when they could really catch up to Jolie being two.
Yeah, and it's such a shame. Jolie being two was doing really well. But right now, all eyes on the Lord. They have to remember they have to take down that Lord if they don't want to lose their turrets. But on the mid lane,
Think right here, something's happening right here. The damage, the knock up, everything just connects without the help of the turret. Mystic Lord will find one, go for the double. Could be looking for the triple, but the rest of the team from Jolie being two will not be going out and would not be risking it.
yep, and Audrey will be attempting the life of Alpha, but apparently, Jolie being two is kind of preoccupied. Oh my gosh, Audrey did. They overextended. They ran out of time. The Hanzo just couldn't pull back into the jungle, and so with that, that was a punishment. And Jolie being two, they're holding on. They're definitely holding on, but they lost their bottom inhibitor turret. Their base is right now being exposed. But let's see what's gonna happen in the mid lane. It looks like Wall of Astoria, they lost two people on their side, and Jolie being two right now, they're just doing their best to go ahead and defend their base. A lot of the minions are definitely not on their side. They're pushing the pressure against Jolie being two. And with that, Waldorf Astoria, they have to pull back for now because they have to reset. They've been overextending into the base of Jolie being two. Let's see what's gonna happen on the mid lane.
Oh, there we have it. The battle's already commenced. Ordre trying to get those skills down with his ultimate, but will not find anyone. Franco, however, would go for the hook before make getting himself safely. But look at the back lane. Our Lucas is chasing them down. Imagine will find a kill and also replying as well with another kill of his own. Prego 5-9 looking for more. Ordre would find Rin down, and um I think the chances again right here are just really of being transferred to each other.
Oh wow, Prego actually overextended, but still managed to get a kill, so that was a good risk to take. So with that, that's one kill in the bag. Waldorf Astoria has three people down on their lineup. On the other hand, Jolie being two did lose two players. And at a really critical time too. I mean, there's 5 seconds left before that mother will respawn. There's two people on the side of Waldorf Astoria. Alpha gets their attention, but unfortunately, we're talking about Alpha here. We're talking about the Franco. We're talking about a tank. It's kind of hard to go against that. But 2 versus 4 with the lore dance, not looking good. But still, everyone else, and Jolie being two, will be resetting, will be respawning. This is gonna be a dance that everyone's gonna watch.
And right here, Jolie being two. I hope they really learn from their mistakes. If they can communicate properly, then surely they can go in. But our Kimi right here being attacked from the back lane. Busket will find a kill also to our Lucas, which could secure them their first win for this match. Waldorf Astoria already cleaning them up. And you know what? It's still one have been eliminated, but break limit will try to actually even things out and take out Imagine, which is also the damage dealer for Waldorf Astoria, and they have to move back and defend their base against the Lord.
Yep. And the bad thing about this is that they lost Rin. And so with that, they have to go ahead and take a look at the Lord, especially since that bottom lane is it's very exposed. But Audrey doesn't give them a chance to breathe. Goes ahead and tries to overextend. It's a good thing they pulled back just in time. But in fact, Mad Panda will be losing their life on the hands of Audrey. So let's see what's gonna happen. It's all about defense on the side of Jolie being two. Audrey definitely putting the pressure against them. Let's see what's gonna happen in the mid lane.
Definitely right here. Still, the damage with the knock up, the crowd control, everything just all connects, and it is up to our Kimmy right here to dish them out and to just really take them out one by one. And I think he's chasing them down. That's gonna be Audrey the Hanzo already trying to fight this one against. I think the Jolie being two is really strong when they're fighting already the assassins, which is just which is Jolie Bing too is really good at that execution. I think it's one of their telltale signs whether they can end the game, whether they can turn things around. But yeah, here we have again right here, still trying to get those damages in. But I think some of them went home, which is why I think they're going in for engagement.
Yep, and with that, there's still more than a minute before the next Lord is going to spawn. So Jolie being two, they have a little bit of time to breathe, but map awareness, they have to push back the minions, especially in the bottom lane. They can't take their eyes off of it. They can't be complacent. Especially with such a bad map going against them. But Jolie being two, I think there's something happening in the river.
Definitely Hanzo starting the fight. Lucas on the other hand just behind them going in for the blast.
Wow.
Gets two actually going and chasing them down. And Lucas could be leading the charge right here towards middle unless the one from the bot side that's gonna be Urdre would be able to put a stop to them. And I think they're baiting him out. Urdre takes Franco down, however. So he is just gonna be left with a very slow speed after that passive clone has been eliminated. But yeah, Prego 59 also gets a kill.
Whoa.
Rin would also be eliminated as a way to respond to that. And yes, he does eventually get two. And I think we're gonna be heading on to another scene for Jolie being two if Kimi eventually finds the perfect spot for this one.
Absolute nail biter, especially with the minions. The base is very it's unguarded, it's unprotected. So Julie Being 2 cannot take their eyes off the map. They have to keep watching. But speaking of watching, we're seeing Prego and Break Limit watching that Lord. And Waldorf Astoria, they're not gonna let this Lord go that easily. This is a potential 2 versus 3, now 3 versus 3 with Alpha joining in the fray. Pomelo jumping in.
Yep, connecting all those shots, and Kimi just behind them, shooting them, gunning them down one by one. And this again, what I've said a while ago, this could really lead the charge for Jolie being two to eventually win game number three, if as long as they're consistent with it. Especially that they've been making a lot of mistakes from a while ago. So for now, that since they have finally secured the spot for that Lord, then they just have to wait it out and be able to push it on these. But Rin, I think, has different plans right here as he already takes one of them down, still trying to fight back against these other two, but it does look like he's just alive at this point.
The base of Jolie being 2 gives me a lot of anxiety. I just saw like the minions just spawn just at the right time. I mean, they have to keep a watch on their base. But yeah, right now it's on the side of Jolie being 2, turning the tides. Once again, we're seeing a repeat of the previous game. 19 minutes into the game, Jolie being 2 slowly popping off with that legendary from that Kimmy bot in the mid lane. Imagine gonna lose their lives. That's another kill for the side of Prego 59. Let's see what's gonna happen next. Mid turret's gonna fall down by the hands of Prego, and there's still the inhibitor turret later on. Bot lane,
Oh, there we have it. Lucas also putting a hole into this base. And again, this is what I've been talking about. Really, they could eventually turn this one around with their Kimi also providing a lot of those damage with the Gato Kacha connects. And there we have it. Our first season winner for Inter Resort Esports Championship. That's gonna be Jolie being two.
That is not just a match winner, guys. That is our champion for the Inter-Resort Esports Championship. Congratulations to Joali being two for that sweep in that best of 5. Once again, guys, I mean, that was the finals. That was exciting. That was a nail biter. I mean, it was a repeat of the previous game. Joali being two just manages to turn the tides around against Waldorf, and that was such an exciting game to watch. And with that, well, Mike, I think we're gonna be concluding this tournament. I mean, once again, guys, this is Ooredoo Nation Gamers Land Inter-Resort Esports Championship 2025. We just witnessed our championship with the victory of Joali being team number 2. Congratulations to all the winners. Thank you so much, guys, especially to those tuning in. Thank you for tuning in all this time, day 1 and day 2. Thank you for the teams for participating. Thank you to the players. And thank you for the back end for organizing this. Once again, I'm your caster, Annie, and Mike was with me for these 2 days. Thank you so much, Mike, by the way. And
Thank you.
yeah, and this has been Ooredoo Nation's Inter-Resort Esports Championship 2025. Do like and subscribe to the channel and tune in for more future tournaments. We'll be seeing you in the next event to come. Thank you guys so much.